K-pop, I actually was trying to get into that for a while, like writing songs, because I was there and I can write songs, and I grew up listening to hip-hop and R&B. I'm shit at writing hip-hop, but I can write some R&B. I can write some R&B. So I was like, well, okay, maybe I could do that for some cash. And the people that I met were like so gross. Just industry people are gross. I mean, industry people are gross in America, they're gross in Europe, they're gross in Asia. So like whatever. I grew up listening to like R&B and like hip hop, and I still listen to mostly the stuff that I listened to when I grew up. I don't really listen to it much anymore. Because it's really different now and it's made for different reasons, and it's really, a lot of it is really poisonous to black minds. But I liked a lot of Korean R&B because like a lot of it was good. Like I wasn't deep enough into it to know like the racist anti-black fuckery that takes place. I just knew a few bands and I heard the songs and these singers were really good, and I was like, oh, there's some R&B right here. Oh, Korean hip hop, not really, because like a lot of it I've seen is like kind of ridiculous. But then a friend of mine who's Korean actually introduced me to some like Korean hip hop that is good and it's not like a walking minstrel show and it's not bullshit. And some of them seem like to have a lot of respect for the artist. Like that's my thing with like Korean music, is like they exploit black people but they have no respect for black people. But like she introduced me to some hip hop where like the lyrics were like intelligent and they weren't being anti-black and they weren't like walking minstrel shows, and they seemed to really have a love for hip hop and stuff. And then like on my own I discovered like a lot of like black Korean rappers and stuff, like Tasha and stuff, who I think is really cool. Um, and E. Michelle as well. She's really cool, but she's an R&B singer. She's not really hip hop, but stuff like that. So there's stuff out there, but I feel like, I guess like in the industry there, you need to make, or like in like the industry in America, like you need to make a hit. So a lot of like these rappers, especially people like what's his name, Verbal Gent, who'll do a song with an idol or something because you need like a hit or whatever. But when I hear him speak, he really likes hip hop, and there are people that you hear them speak and they don't like hip hop. They just use hip hop to make money. Without this art that black people have created, you would literally have nothing. You wouldn't have a career, you wouldn't have fans, you wouldn't have a life. Because you're not a trot singer, are you? You're not wearing a hanbok and singing traditional Korean songs, are you? You are singing black music. Because blackness sells. People hate black people, but they sure love blackness, and they will pay billions of dollars for it, and they do. If you hate black people so much and you think black people are so beneath you, like, why don't you stop with the swag shit and just, like, be a traditional Korean singer? But you're not doing that. You're making all your money off of black people, and then you don't even respect the people who created these things out of their own struggles and their own pain so that you can have a lucrative business or a lucrative career, So just, like, the ungratefulness and hypocrisy. Like, I think it was like the president of YG or something, and he was like, I don't really like hip-hop, I just started YG because hip-hop made a lot of money. And you hear shit like that all the time. Like, they don't even like hip-hop, they don't even like black people, but blackness sells, and so that's why they do it. And so it got to the point where like I saw so many of them like that I kind of assumed that that's what Korean hip hop was. But then my friend showed me like some stuff like Esen's or whatever, and it was pretty cool. Like he seems like smart, like his lyrics are intelligent, and I haven't seen anything questionable or anti-black from him. So stuff like that. But like K-pop in general is just a mess. I don't care how much you like a band. Like I can't even with these like black girls talking about, oh, well, I mean, it's Korea. Like, how is he supposed to know? Like, they're like, I mean, how do you know? Like, how do you know? Like, there are racial slurs for Asian people, too. And you're a black American or black wherever. How do you know not to use racial slurs? How do you know not to wear yellow face? How do you know not to be taping up your eyes and making ching chong jokes? How do you know that? Because you're a decent human being. You don't need to read a textbook and learn about the history of a people to know how to treat a person like a person. And if they don't know, and if they think it's appropriate to make jokes about somebody's skin color, or if they think it's appropriate to make jokes about somebody's ethnicity or race, or hair texture. They're just shitty people, and you shouldn't make excuses for that. And if you make excuses for that, it means that you condone that kind of behavior, and you perpetuate that kind of behavior. If you don't make fun of people's skin color, why would you accept them making fun of your skin color? Do you think your skin color is something to be made fun of? Do you think your hair texture is something to be made fun of? Do you think, and I used to like some of these people, like I used to like Rain, and then I saw, like, what is it, the Lost Song video, and I was like I literally rewound that shit because I could not believe what I just saw. And I was like, okay, fuck you, you're dead to me, Like, the way they come for black people and for black women, the way they come for black women,